for NFTs is another interesting avenue. I don't know if you're real familiar with some of that stuff.
Well, I know that you guys were talking about it. Didn't you do one of Sparks' paintings?
Yes, yeah,
Right.
that's
Yeah. So tell me about that. What did you actually do?
So can I, okay, you go ahead and tell him what we did. I'll follow up by telling him why it's important to like musicians. So
yeah,
go
for
for it.
sure. All I did was I took a picture of painting that Sparky did, and he put it into a digital format, and then I put it onto an Ethereum blockchain, a smart contract, which makes it into an NFT, which is short for non-fungible token. And some people they don't understand fungible or non-fungible, but fungible, for those that don't know, is like a Canadian dollar, the $1. Every dollar is the same. They look the same. They spend the same. They're all worth the same thing. So that way they're fungible. You can trade one for another, and my dollar is not worth any more or worth any less than the dollar that you have. So a non-fungible is kind of like a one of a kind. It's I believe eventually, like the title for your car will be tokenized. The deed for your house, your medical records, like all the stuff that we just went on. It saves so much time and effort. But we just downloaded his digital art onto the platform for an Ethereum, and then I minted a NFT token, which is on the Ethereum blockchain, and you can make that as of like one of three. I can make it as one of three. I can make it as one of 10. I can make it as 10,000 of them, or I can make it just one. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then after that, I can set up a smaller smart contract on it. As if I sell it, it goes to this certain wallet, and if anybody sells that from here on out, Mark will get 5% of that, or 10%, or whatever we wanted to put. So as far as fraud, I tried to explain it to my wife earlier, is about like baseball cards or anything like that. So maybe someday Tops, they have this NFT line of baseball cards, and you have a Willie Mays that they sell it for a certain amount. I bought it, and then as time goes on, I want to sell that card. I'll sell it to maybe a baseball card shop or something like that, and Tops will still get 5% of that. And it's out of our hands. They don't need no. It doesn't the code or the blockchain polices that transaction. It's out of our hands. It doesn't matter.
But it's completely verifiable and certifiable, right?
Yeah, and
that's of course the key. Like Mark, you were going to talk about musicians. So like do the same thing with a song, right? That you can reach your audience immediately. Like what would that look like if you were a musician? How would you do it?
Right. So that's the trick, is like when we were back in our program that we were in with you, we were writing songs, and part of the process that you would do with us is send it off to ASCAP or BMI, who were copyright places. So I'm not going to say it's going to get rid of like copyrights, but at the same time, you're going to own your copyright, and you're going to be able to prove that you own your copyright. And if you sell it, so if I make a song and I'm on YouTube, and let's say Volkswagen gets a hold of it, they're like, hey, we want to use this. All of a sudden, we don't have that middleman, right? And I can say, okay, well, I'm going to make this into an NFT, right? Or I've made this into an NFT. And part of the contract is every time that this airs on TV, I'm going to get paid a percentage, right? So again, that takes out the middleman, and you're in control of your art.
That's right.
And it's a beautiful.
Think about what that does for movies as well. Like we went over the Jay and Silent Bob bit, but that they tokenize in these movies, and if you wanted to rent this movie, it's going straight to them through digital. It kind of blockbusters a lot of the,
or Netflix or whatever the hell. Like you don't need a third
right
party.
yeah, Netflix. Like back to the music thing, if Volkswagen wanted to use his, it costs this. If Al wants to download it as a ringtone, it's going to cost this. If I several different things. It's
my brother is my brother's a little bit older, and he's very skeptical anyway about just about anything. So he's pretty good at being the devil's advocate. his, when I told him I was coming on your show to talk to you guys, his response is that, effing, Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme and you're going to lose your money and blah, blah, blah. And I was explaining to him, of course, he's an artist, right? I said, well, no, Stephen, it'd be the perfect way for an artist to be able to, own their art, even if they gave it away, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
so he was a little more interested, and he asked me that. Well, how would you do it, right? So,
You could tell him I'd be more than happy to tokenize anything that you wanted to.
what's it cost to tokenize this a painting? Would you guys pay to do one of yours?
Well, that's a whole other explanation on stuff. On Ethereum, it's quite expensive right now because that is still on a proof of work platform and they're moving towards proof of stake. But there are other, you're going to be able to do that on Cardano and some other blockchains real soon, and it'll cost pennies.